Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday. Wait, what is today? Yeah, today's Thursday, August 29th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, one last thing. Perfect. So let me just do this real quick. Log into my account. All right, looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link sent out. We are good to go. All right, looks good. So as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. So the 4 hour. Two-hour. 1 hour. Down to the 30. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And back down to the 1 minute. All right, guys. So good morning, everybody. Looks like about half of you guys are here so far. Today is Thursday, August 29th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. So I've marked up liquidity over here. The closest level of liquidity above is at 41,471, and the closest level of liquidity below is at 41,426. I believe we had news this morning at 5:30. High impact news, a bit mixed. So we had news right here at this big candle, 5:30. And we have more news, medium impact at 7, and some gas stock change at 7:30. So I'm going to mark that up over here. 7 o'clock and 7:30. All right, looks good. I'll come back to our clean chart later, market structure. ATR is currently at 10 right now, so it's pretty much normal. It's not overly high, not too low. It's just pretty much right down the middle. So we've marked that up so far. We got market opening up in about 4 seconds, or sorry, 4 minutes, not 4 seconds. Looking over here at our bigger move, let's take a look at retail sentiment. 80% short, so it looks like we'll probably be looking for some buys today, ideally. If you guys are not familiar with retail sentiment, this indicates that 80% of retail traders are currently selling right now. Typically, the majority of traders typically tend to be on the opposite side of the market of market makers, institutions, but we are trading in the summer, so this might not be as useful as it normally is. Now it's up to 81%. So you can see a lot of retail traders hopping on the sell side. So I think price will be bullish today. Looking over here at CNBC, the fundamentals are currently plus 274 points pre-market. For S&P, they're up 19 points. Nasdaq's up 80 points. Oil's up less than a point. And 10-year bonds up less than a point as well. But it's all positive across the board. So with that said, I think price is going to be bullish today. Ideally, that's where I'm going to be looking for entries. And for the bigger 100-point move, I'll be looking for a buy here as well. So we'll take that once we get closer to market open, let the trade run, and then, pretty much just go from there. So, all right, guys, we got market opening up shortly. Let's see. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Maria. Morning, CRX. Morning, Nikki. Maria said, good morning. I read in your Instagram you're going to get married this week. Congrats. Yeah, thanks, guys. So yeah, my wedding is this Saturday. I'm going to keep trading. So I'll be trading today. I'll be trading tomorrow. Monday next week is Labor Day, so there's not going to be any trading. Market's going to be closed, but I'm going to be on schedule. So I'm not really taking any time off. I'll still be trading with you guys pretty much per usual. So nothing's really changing, not taking any time off. It's going to be a little busy from now until next week. So if you guys do have any questions or anything like that, it might take me a little longer to respond, but still going to be here. The thing with me is like, I just can't, there's no off switch for me with trading. Like I can't just stop trading. So might as well trade with you guys. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. So the first level of liquidity right here got hit pre-market, guys. We have another level of liquidity right here getting hit as well. We got market opening up shortly in about 30 seconds, but pretty much these two levels of liquidity right here got hit. Like I said, I'm going to be looking for a buy over here for the longer term push. Market's going to open up in about 15 seconds. So I'll put a buy order in as we get closer to market open, and then we'll go from there. So we got market opening up in about 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open. And got my entry right here. Let's see, 590 and 390. Perfect. So I'll leave that alone. We'll come back to that a little later. Market is now open, guys. It's pretty much pushed up and hit liquidity right here. So I'll go ahead and clean this up. I'll be looking for some market flow entries here. So like I said, I'm going to be taking one entry per momentum. We don't have a buy signal here yet. So once we get that buy signal, I'll be looking for a possible market flow entry for a buy, of course. So I'm not taking anything here yet. But I will be looking for that buy signal before I start looking for any entries here. ATR is currently at 14 right now, so it's not super high. It's just where it should be for the most part. There's a normal market flow entry right here that's come up. I'm not taking this one though. Like I said, I'm waiting for the momentum signal here to come up. Once it comes up, I'll start looking for some entry. But at this very moment, I'm going to be waiting for for that to actually come up first. Trying to find ways to minimize my entries. I'm taking way too many entries, as you guys know, for August, so I tone it down a little bit. I was talking to some of the other traders at the gym yesterday. I told them that I took like 60 trades this month, which is, as you guys know, it's pretty insane. It's a lot. I mean, average is about like 3 trades a day, which is a lot. So the volatility here is picking up though. So as you guys can see, it's going back and forth. Not really much of a consistent push right now. It comes down right here. I'll see if I can find a market flow for the sell side. But again, we'll follow through right here and we'll see where this ends up going. So we got a sell signal that's currently running. If price swings up, bounces off the pivot and comes back down, we may have a possible market flow entry for a sell. A sell hasn't come up yet, so it's still going to be, there's still going to be some sort of opportunity here if it does come up and come back down. So we never got a buy signal here. We couldn't take any market flows for the buy side. We have a sell signal here that came up pre-market. Price is now coming down from where it's currently at. Looking for this here to swing back up, come back down. We get some crazy volatility here based off the news from this morning. So there's no other catalyst here, but we had news this morning. Price kind of came up a little bit slightly. So over here, we had continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims, and goods trades balance. It was pretty much all positive here. And you can see how price pushed up here at 5:30. So at 5:30, price pushed up a little bit, came back down. And then we're getting some pretty heavy push of volatility right now. I think this is earnings week as well. Okay, so there's breaking news right there. It's the stocks open higher. So let's see what time this was released. The news was released just now, and just as soon as the stocks were opening higher, price ended crashing all the way down, right? So pay attention to like CNBC if you guys do have it open, because typically when there is breaking news, you can see over here the breaking news happened at 9:32. So about a minute ago, it said stocks were opening higher, and as soon as that happened, what happened here? Stocks, the YM basically came straight down. So there's always manipulation, especially during times like this. So you want to be careful with these types of entries or whenever you're taking anything. I still haven't taken any scalps yet here. Looking for price to swing back up. Pretty much all the liquidity right here got hit though. So if you guys took any of these levels of liquidity, full TP right there, full TP right there, full TP right there, full TP right there. And this one right here is currently running. So pretty much all the levels of liquidity, which I've marked up, have been getting hit. Yeah, basically all the liquidity pushes that have been getting triggered have been passing right through. Obviously not the ones that are super far, but the other ones right here. So if you guys have been taking these liquidity pushes, I mean, they've been hitting pretty much every day. I know the liquidity pushes are a little bit risky, but for the most part, I mean, they've been hitting. So if you're doing like, I'd say if you're doing like a 1-to-1 risk reward for liquidity, you should be fine, especially if you're taking something with like a 10-point. So if you're doing the traditional 10-point liquidity, it's really easy to just hit your TP and be done, right? I mean, if you guys want to do the 10-30 split, you guys are more than welcome to do that. If you want to be even tighter, you can do a 10-10 or do a 15-15, because typically when it hits liquidity, so for example, down here, when it hits liquidity, it usually just goes straight through. Sometimes it'll retrace up, but typically it just goes straight through. So if you guys want to go even tighter, like if you just want to go straight for the TP, you could always just go for, you could put a pending order there and just go for a quick 10-10. Because this one over here hit if you went straight for 10. It's just up to your preference. So again, guys, there's no market flow entries here yet. I'm looking for price to retrace up, come back down sharply. And if it ends up reversing, then that's fine. I'll just take the swing back to the upside. But still haven't taken anything here yet. One other thing that I would be okay with taking would be the V1 variation. So if I get a V1 variation in the direction of the trend, then I'd be okay with looking for possible entry. So for example, here, if price ends up retracing up and we get a V1 variation pattern, ideally that'd be a good entry because it'll line up with a market flow entry as well. All right, so let's see where this ends up going. Yeah, Jason said the NAS went up. Yeah, so Jason said NAS went up and US 30 went down. Yeah, they're not correlated, but sometimes that does happen. They're not correlated at all because NASDAQ is the top 100 tech stocks and YM is the top 30 general stocks. So they're not correlated at all, but I'm assuming that's what happened today, right? So if you go to NQ, yeah, so NQ pushed up and YM pushed down. But they could be for different reasons, not necessarily for one specific reason. So the reason for this pushing up, I think, is because of the NVIDIA earnings, right? Yeah, I don't have the stock index open, so I can't really see exactly what earnings were released. But yeah, the only thing I can see here is NVIDIA. That's pretty much what was reported. I'm not sure if there's any other news here or any other stocks. Yeah, so mainly NVIDIA was down, but NVIDIA is like, it's overbought anyways. So it's going to retrace down and probably swing back up. Salesforce as well. It's basically two of them right now, just NVIDIA and Salesforce. We got price coming down lower. So price is hitting the lower level of liquidity right here. Once we have some sort of structure, I'll mark up structure over here, but right now price is still dumping. So still dumping. There's no entries for me to take here at the moment. You can see right here, this ended up coming down pretty heavily, went straight down to its TP. All right, so pretty much all the liquidity today got hit. So if you guys took any of the levels of liquidity I marked up, there was like a bunch of levels up here. I think we had 10 levels that were lined up. They all pretty much went straight to TP. Depending on what your TP stop loss was, I mean, ideally you'd want to use a 10-30 split because you want to be able to withstand any retracement. But it seems like if you took a 15-15 for any of these moves too, they all hit. So if you guys took any of the levels of liquidity, and like I said before, there's different ways of trading liquidity, right? You can trade liquidity to liquidity. This is typically how I trade it. I trade it when price is pushing down to liquidity, or you can trade it when price touches liquidity. So depending on how you want to take it, you can either take it right at the line, or you can take it on its direction to the line. Two different ways of doing it there. But all right, still no entry here for me, guys. Again, I'm looking for price to retrace up, come back down. But we just don't have that yet. So we got price pushing up right here. There may be a possible market flow entry on probably not the next candle, but maybe the candle after that. Also looking for a buy signal here. I think price is a bit overextended, so ideally I'd prefer to have a buy signal, have some buy signal retrace up, and then have a new sell signal come back down for a correction. So you guys can see I'm being a little more cautious than I was before. I just can't risk taking too much. Well, not really risking, but just taking too many trades in general. I don't want to overtrade. This month was definitely a month of overtrading. Typically for August, I usually take the least amount of trades, like 20 trades or less, but this month I have over 60 trades. So I gotta catch myself there, or else I'm gonna get eaten up in the commissions and fees. So the volatility right here is starting to slow down a little bit, as you guys can see. Volatility is pretty much flattening out. Check my level 2 data. I'm gonna see if it's. So the crazy thing with the level 2 data is that there's a lot of orders coming in. So I'm seeing like about 20 orders per price on the buy side. But there's not really much of an outlier. So I'll keep looking at the level 2 here to see if there's going to be any outlier here. I'm basically looking for a spike in orders. So I'm looking for a spike of orders on the buy side or on the sell side. The crazy thing is that there's a lot of orders coming in, but the volatility here is super flat. So I'm seeing like 20 orders, 15 orders, 17 orders, 16 orders. Like the numbers are pretty big for the buy side, but it's not really pushing price up. Let's see, we might get a market flow on the next candle here. Okay, so perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. So we got the buy signal right here. There goes a retracement that I was waiting for because price over here is obviously overextended. You guys can see how price came down super heavily. Price here is overextended. Once we have structure here, I'll mark it up. But as of now, let's see, I'll mark it up at 350, 300, and 250. $350, 300, 250 right there. We got price coming back down right here. I'm looking for that sell signal. Once I get that sell signal, I'll start looking for a possible market flow. But as of now, we just don't have that right now. So I need that sell signal to come up. Once the sell signal comes up, I'm gonna look for it to come down, retrace, come back down further for continuation. Otherwise, if we keep this buy signal right here, this is fine as well. I'll just look for price to push up, retrace, continue up higher. So I'm fine with either direction. But right now I'm just waiting for that sell signal to come back up so that we could have a confirmation of momentum. But pretty much here's the range right now. Looks like price might just range it from down here. I was hoping we'd be able to get that entry before 7 o'clock, but it's looking a little tough right now. So there goes a market flow entry right there. If you're taking an original, just market flow by itself, that could have been a market flow entry right there for you. But like I said, I'm trying to limit my trades because I've been taking way too many trades and I need to find, well, I already found a way. I need to take one per momentum. So we'll see if price breaks out of this range. We have a pending sell signal right there. It didn't close, but pending sell signal there. Again, another pending sell signal here. Price is starting to go sideways a little bit, so hoping it continues to drop lower. So if price drops lower, we have a couple targets down here. We have liquidity, and then we have the sessions down here and some more liquidity down here as well. But again, I'm looking for the sell signal here to close. Once the sell signal closes, then we'll go from there. All right, we got price over here kind of just bouncing around a little bit. So the sell signal there did not close. Another pending sell signal right here. Price is pushing down to the liquidity down below. Again, I'm just waiting for the sell signal here to close. When the sell signal closes, we'll be able to confirm the direction of momentum. I'm just hoping this isn't going to be one of those days where we just have a pending signal for the entire day. If you guys remember that, there was one day where we were just waiting for a signal, not necessarily a sell signal, but a signal in general. And it was just pending for like about 30, 40 minutes, and then it just never closed. Again, right here, we have the sell signal that's currently pending. There's 20 seconds left on the candle, so there's a lot of time left on here. We'll see if it ends up Closing. Yeah, Daniel said if this closes here, it's going to be a triple confluence. The thing that I would be careful for here is that the candle is huge, right? So although it is a triple confluence, you might want to wait for the retracement before getting in. If you want to get in right away, feel free, but just want to give you guys a little heads up because it's a little tricky. So like what I would do here is I put a sell stop to catch it if it comes back down. So I let it retrace up a little bit because the candle is just so big. If it wasn't this big, I would have been okay with it, but because it's so huge, like this candle is like a 50-point candle, it just makes it a little tricky because sometimes it does retrace up a little bit before it comes down. So if you guys took that triple confluence right there, full TP, or 15 points, if you guys didn't, it's completely fine. It hit liquidity right there. So that was the first target. You guys can see here, I circled it. So that was the first target right there for price to hit. Price did hit it. And we'll see where this goes from here. But again, I'm looking for price to retrace back up and come back down. All right, the price is just dropping down lower. The structure here just keeps getting lower and lower. I'll clean it up once we get closer to that point. But right now, I'm just going to wait for this here. So we have a possible market flow entry that may be setting up right here. See if I can get this set up with, see, we've got 29 seconds. Put a pending sell limit right there, just in case it comes back down. See if it goes back up. I'm gonna cancel it, guys. I'm already in it. Sorry, I couldn't cancel it. So I'm in the position already right here. What's the TP at? I got in a little too early on that one. I was supposed to close it because it didn't actually fill, but it ended up coming down at the last second. So I'm in this position right here, but I think my TP stop loss might be a little too tight. Fuck. Sorry, guys. This right here wasn't supposed to be an entry, but I ended up getting caught in it. So, I mean, it is what it is. I took it. I wasn't paying attention to the time. I saw the message right there from Sam and it kind of got me distracted. It's all good. So I'm going to wait for the next one here, guys. I might just close down the chat. Well, not close down the chat, but I'm not going to look at the chat right now because I got distracted there for a second. It never came up and touched the pivot here. So I had my pending order there and I was waiting for it to come up and come back down, but it never actually came up and filled, or it didn't fit the criteria. So I'll look for another entry right here. So I just got distracted for a second. So I wasn't looking at my screen. It ended up filling it. And see, this is what I was talking about, what I've been talking about, guys. The problem here is my stop loss is too tight. And then I end up getting caught in this right here because price here is consolidating and my stop loss was just too tight. So like I was saying before, if you guys want to use a traditional 1030, I mean, it still works, but it still works, but it's just a little riskier because if you lose a trade, you're going to be back in the hole like about 3 points, or not 3 points, 3 trades basically. Yeah, no worries, Sam. That was my bad. I shouldn't have been reading the messages. I should have been paying attention to the chart. I thought we still had time on the chart, but it ended up being, the countdown just came down too quickly. So I'll look for the next entry here. We still don't have a sell entry here for this momentum signal, so I'm going to look for the next one. We have the sell signal right here. I'm looking for this here to swing back up, bounce off the pivot, and then come back down further. The only problem here is that we do have a sessions down below. So I don't think we're gonna have opportunity here for entry. Yeah, that was my bad right there, guys. Because the thing is that the trade never actually filled. It filled on the next candle, but then it should have been canceled by then. So let's see. I'm gonna look for the next entry here. Possible. Yeah, I think if anything, I might have to go back to our old TP stop loss, guys, because this the 15-15 is just a little too tight. I don't want to make adjustments yet because we're going into the fall season pretty soon. Next week is September, so I don't want to make any changes and then all of a sudden the market starts to move directional. I mean, today's a pretty directional move. It's just this time right here, price went sideways for a little bit, ended up getting caught with too tight of a stop loss, and then it ended up coming right back down. But yeah, it like barely triggered it, and then it came right back down. So we got price swinging back up right here. There may be one entry on the next candle. The only problem with this here that it's so close to the sessions down here. Okay, so there may be a possible market flow entry right here. So you gotta wait for it first. Come back a little higher. All right, I didn't put my order in yet. I'm just waiting for it to push up a little higher. It's got 30 seconds left on this candle. So I'm waiting for it to push up higher because typically when I put my order too close to when price is still active, it ends up giving me some sort of error. So I'll put my pending order there now.
Order submitted.
Got my pending order here. I'm going to pay attention to the timer. Timer is currently at 10 seconds. We've got 5 seconds left. It's not going to fill, so I'm going to cancel it. There we go. I'm looking at this timer right here, guys. If you guys are not paying it, if you guys don't know what I'm looking at, I'm looking at this timer right here. So on the side right here, I have a timer. I'm looking for this to, because the entry has to fill before the timer closes, of course. You know, we can't enter on the next candle. We're supposed to enter on that specific candle there. And that's pretty much what we're waiting for. So there's another opportunity right here for a market flow entry. The thing with this is that there's a pending buy signal right here. So it might be a little tricky, but let me see if I can put a pending order right there for a sell, just in case price does come back down.
Order submitted.
So I got my pending order right there. We have a pending buy signal here though, so it's looking like it's not going to fill. Looking at the timer here, we have about 15 seconds. It's pretty far up, so I'm just going to cancel the order. With this buy signal right here, I was hoping it would close. I canceled my order because it's not going to come back down to fill. I'm looking for a buy signal right here to come up. Once that buy signal comes up, I'll look for this to swing back up higher and then possibly look for a buy. But at this point here, I'm no longer looking for any sells right now. Technically, there was no sell entry that came up off this momentum signal. So you can see over here that we had the sell signal. None of the pivots over here pretty much bounced up, or none of the candles here bounced off the pivots. You can still technically look for a sell like on the higher levels, like up here. But it's probably not going to happen if we get a buy signal here. So if we get a buy signal here, it's probably not going to come up. Yeah, it's longitude, yeah, or even a 1020. Yeah, I think I might, like that might be ideal. Because yeah, the 15 is just way too tight. This is the reason why I never really used a 15 before, because it was just always too tight. Like it was always an idea that we thought about. We're like, oh, we should probably use the entire TP stop loss. But we never did. We stuck to the 1030. Let's see. Drew said, nice. Yeah, so Drew said he accidentally got that push for the high low momentum scalp. but the momentum signal didn't end up closing. So I think he got in right here. Drew got in on this candle, but the buy signal didn't close, but it still pushed up on the following candle. And he hit his TP right there. So nice work, Drew. And yeah, so Rashid over here said she's using 25.25. I think that might be the key. So that might be the key thing. It's not necessarily about like making it going back to a negative risk reward, but it's just getting a wider TP stop loss. So Rashid over here actually entered the trade and she had a 25.25 instead of a 15.15. And she was able to survive the pullback and it still hit her TP. So I mean, if that's the case, and I might have to make adjustments to just make things a little bit wider, I might do that. Thanks for the heads up, Rashida, with that, because that was another idea. I was thinking, okay, do I either go back to negative risk reward for 2 to 1, or if I just make it wider? Because I think 30-30 is a little too wide. I mean, it still would have worked out here, 30-30. But yeah, I mean, it's just a little tricky. Also, because we have like the ATR here is shifting, right? So like typically for the past couple of days, the ATR was like at 10 to 15. The ATR is now at 30. So we have some volatility today in comparison to the previous days. Yeah, exactly. Drew said 25 is a lot in the summer market, but I'm glad it's hitting. Yeah, I agree too. So it's just a little tricky. I don't want to make changes too early because, we're going to the fall season. So if the market starts to slow back down, then the 15-15 is going to be ideal. Like, for example, the market on Monday, or was it Monday? I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday, but like market didn't even move 100 points, which is crazy because 100 points isn't very much. You can see over here for today, see, I didn't even mark opening price. So for today, market pushed. Yeah, today market pushed from up here. It pushed down about 300 points. So every day this week's been like slightly different, if you guys have noticed. Like Monday was decent. I think price moved about like 150 points. Tuesday, market didn't even move 100 points either direction. Yesterday, we had a sideways market, and then today we have a directional market, but it's not really a smooth directional market. It's still a little bit choppy. So again, you guys have different options here. If you guys want to use what I'm using at 15-15, the 15-15 works okay, but sometimes it's just a little too tight. What Rashida's using is a 25-25. I think this is probably ideal for this type of market right now because we're currently at a 31 ATR. 30-30 is like best case, but I think that's definitely pushing it. I think that might be pushing it a little too much. But looking at the current volatility, if this is the case, I might just adjust to a 25-25 for today. Because you can see these 15-15s are just way too tight. 25-25 looks more ideal. The thing that you want to keep in mind too, guys, is that we're getting closer to 7 o'clock. We're at 7 o'clock now. So typically the market starts to die down at 7 o'clock. And this is usually where you want to be a little wary. Gotcha. Yeah. So Rashida said she does 25-25 and she trails her stop loss and profit at 15. Gotcha. All right, there may be a market flow entry here for a buy, guys. The only problem with this is that this push is based off the news. So you probably want to wait for the market here to stabilize a little bit before you start taking any entries. The news over here was at 7 o'clock. It was pending home sales. News was negative. So there may be a possible market flow here, but you guys want to be a little careful with this. So if you want to take a market flow, you can possibly take one here for a buy. The only thing that is an issue here, like I said, is the news. So the market flow here would have filled. Actually, it wouldn't have, it's not a market flow yet because it didn't really come down to the pivot. So possibly a market flow on the next candle, not this one here, maybe the next one. All right, so no market flow there. This candle's about to close in about 5 seconds. Price never came up to fill it. And again, I'll be looking for a possible opportunity for entry here. So I'll look for price to push up, retrace, continue up higher. Don't have that yet, but that's what I'll be looking for. Yeah, I agree, Drew. Yeah, Drew said 25 was a lot for the BB3 and we lost a couple. Yeah, I agree. It just depends on the market conditions for the day. Like I was saying, today's the volatility is a little higher than usual. So the ATR is currently at 33 right now. For the past couple of days, ATR has been at like 15. So it hasn't been super great. And now that we're past 7 o'clock, so 7 o'clock passed about 2 minutes ago, we tend to go into a sideways market from here. So a possible market flow on the next candle, guys, if you guys are looking to take it. See if I can maybe get in over here if it does come back down at all. So I need to come down a little further. There was a market flow setup right there, but it didn't really come down far enough for me to set up my order. Again, like I said before, guys, I need this to actually come down a little bit because, and there you go, price pushed up. Because it's not really touching the pivot. The only problem here again is that we're right at the sessions. So there's a red flag right there. But that was the setup that I was looking for. We had the buy signal here, price came up. It wasn't necessarily a market flow because it didn't come down and touch the pivot, but this is basically the setup that I was looking for. I was looking for price to push up, come back down, and push up higher. But it didn't actually push up or push down far enough to touch the pivot. Price is probably going to touch the sessions right here. This is going to be the first target. If not, it'll probably retrace down a little bit further before it comes back up. So first target's going to be the sessions right there. We have one target here, the sessions. The next target's going to be this sessions up here. And the next target's going to be the opening price up here. All right, so we'll wait here for, I mean, price really get away from the sessions. The one thing that you guys can look for too, which happens pretty often, is look for the rejection off a session and look for the continuation to the next session. That's typically what happens. Like if you guys see this, like when market opens and you see price come down and it bounces directly off a session, it's probably going to push to the next session. So again, right here, price is bouncing off the session. These sessions act as magnets. That's why I typically don't like to take trades around them because a lot of manipulation happens there. So whenever price gets to the session, like for example, where it is right now, a good thing to do would probably look at the level 2. So I'm looking at the level 2 right now, and there is some mixed orders. They're not really, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty much mixed. There's more sell orders though now. So the sell orders are starting to stack up. This thing might be a continuation back to the downside. And now that we're looking at the range is pretty big. So the range is currently between 200 and 400. It's a 200-point range. 400 right here. $200 right there. Yeah, it's a pretty big range. So technically for this buy signal, there hasn't been a market flow entry to come up yet. This right here was what I was looking for, but it never came down and touched the pivot. So, I mean, there's still opportunity to take a market flow entry for a buy here if price does climb up any higher. So again, I'm just looking at this here. Price is climbing up a little bit. Look for this to retrace down a little bit and come right back up. Drew just said there's an MPS that came up. So let's see, where did the MPS come up at? Drew, right here. Oh, but it was like right at the sessions, huh? Yeah, so right here, the MPS came up at the 70, I believe, right here. Yeah. So if you guys understand the MPS entry, I mean, most of you guys know the MPS. The MPS is very similar to like what we're doing here. We have a buy signal, price comes up, trend confirms, pretty much the same thing. It's just a different entry point. So the MPS strategy pulls back to full numbers while we're looking for price to pull back to the pivots. I mean, they both work pretty fine. Yeah, Drew said he didn't have the sessions indicator on. Yeah, that happens. All right, so you guys can see here the volatility is pretty much flat. This is what we expected. This is why I always try to get my entries in before 7 o'clock, but unfortunately here, that's not the case. Price tends to get slow after 7 o'clock. I don't know why it does that, but it always does that. Like it's not lunchtime yet, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's only 10 o'clock on the East Coast. So it's not lunchtime yet, but for whatever reason, the market always gets flat after 7 o'clock. We have some huge volatility right here, and the market just dies down immediately once it hits 7. Yeah, CRX said coffee break. Yeah, that could be it. But yeah, the market tends to just die out. So you can see here, every candle here was pretty big. It was moving like 50 points, 40 points, 30 points, etc. And then you get over here, now the market volatility is super flat. It's like less than 10 points. There was a market flow entry that was setting up right here at the sessions, but again, it's right at the session, so it's not one that I would necessarily recommend taking. Price came down, bounced off the pivot, swung back up. It's technically running in profit right now, but it's like literally on the session, so I'm not going to mess with that one. I actually don't mind it to come back down, so I wouldn't mind a sell signal to come up and then have it retrace back down. I know, Drew, right? Drew said quick push to stop out the now copy guys. Yeah, literally. So we got the sell signal right here. So like I said earlier, I wouldn't mind if this comes back down. If we get a sell signal, I wouldn't mind for it to come back down, retrace, continue down lower. If that's the case, we can look for some entries. I just really want price to push away from the sessions here. So I don't care if price climbs up higher or if price climbs down lower. You can go in either direction, really. All right, so our typical 7 o'clock market here, you guys can see. So let me just clean this up now. Let's see. So I'll just mark up the structure right here because I mean this is a consolidation zone now. Between the 400 and the 350. So here's our clean chart. As you guys can see, the volatility is nowhere to be found. It's just going sideways. So I'm basically just going to wait for it to break out of this area. So price is going sideways right here. Look for it to break above. I'm going to look for it to break below. Doesn't really matter which direction it goes to, but that's kind of what we're waiting for here. Waiting for this here to break out of this area. What a boring market. All right, price is climbing up a little bit higher. It's climbing up a little bit higher, but I need it to be higher than this. It's just not high enough. Yeah, so I need this to climb up a little bit higher. Continuation. It's right at the session, so I can't take any entries here, even if I wanted to. Another market flow setting up right there, but it's right at the sessions. Here's our clean chart. So there's a structure, got the 400, we got the 350 down here. Price is just consolidating down this middle area. Man, I can't wait till September. Can't wait for this to not happen. Or this is probably still going to happen. So in September, this is probably going to happen, but it's not going to be this slow. So you guys can see how flat this is, right? This is like snail movement. It's like not moving at all. We're probably going to get consolidation, but it's going to be a big consolidation. Like you're going to see price ranging back and forth. It's not going to be like this. Like this is a clear summer market. If you guys have never traded summer market, this is how summer usually is. And this is why, like before, we would be on the market for, I think, like our live sessions now cut out at like an hour to 2 hours. Back, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, we used to be on here for like maybe 3 or 5 hours because we didn't understand how the summer market was moving at first. Like when I first started trading with you guys here live, we would trade summer and we just didn't know that this is how the market was during the summer because that was like one of our first couple of summers where we were trading consistently. And we would sit on the charts for like, and we'd be on here for a long time. I think like 3 or 5 hours, sometimes even longer. Like sometimes I would go out and get breakfast and then come back and still look for the market here to move. Now that we've been trading for a couple of years, we know that this is normal for summer. So, and now we know like the time period where it happens, basically 7 to 8. So, all right, we got price climbing back up right here. If this is the case, this is fine. It's going to start setting up for some market flow entries. It's probably not going to happen on this candle, maybe on the next one. I'm just hoping we get this market flow before we get to the sessions up here, the next sessions. So we got another sessions up here, this green line. And I'm really hoping that we get something before then because obviously if price pushes too high, it's going to be a red flag. There's a levels entry right here if you guys took that. So there's different entries that are coming up. There was a MPS entry that came up earlier. There was a levels entry that came up right here. I think there was a high-low scalp that came up right here as well. There was liquidity right there. Then also a high-low scalp. But it was at the session. So again, it's making it tricky because you don't want to trade at the sessions, of course. All right, we may get a possible market flow here if price comes down and then swings back up. Right here, we don't have the swing down yet, but if it does swing down, swing back up, possible market flow entry. All right, so we're getting volatility, which is a good thing. There's volatility, but there just is no entry here yet. Looking for this to pull back, swing back up. Target price point is going to be the sessions up here. All right. So again, I'm looking for price to pull back and then swing right back up. But we are getting close to the sessions right here, so that's going to be a little tricky. Let's see what happens here if price actually comes back down or if it pushes straight to the sessions. So I'm looking at this now, and it looks like there was like, so the rejection actually happened on this red candle over here. Technically, if I rode this up higher, it's the next one, 65. 30. Yeah, if you guys ever want to look for entries like that, there's a possible market flow right here, but I don't think it's going to fill. I mean, personally, I don't think it's going to come back up. It's 30 seconds out. You guys can see this is how you get some weird volatility in the market. Like market's going super slow. It's a slow climb, and all of a sudden you just get this huge red candle to stop everybody out. See, we've got 13 seconds. It's not going to fill. It's got 10 seconds left. Yeah, no entry there. Possible market flow right here, but again, it's going to be close to the sessions. It's really tough when you have an entry that's in between two sessions, because if it comes down too far right here, obviously. Let's see, I'm going to watch it to see if it comes down far enough. But if we don't get a market flow here, it'll probably happen on the next candle. So I'm going to keep looking for a market flow right here because we have not reached our target yet, which is up here, right? We have the target up here. The candle stays low enough. I'm hoping it stays low enough because if it pushes too high, it's going to be impossible for us to get that market flow. It's not going to be able to retrace far enough for it to come back up. Okay, so we might get a market flow here on the next candle. Looking for the same pattern, looking for it to retrace down and then come right back up. Otherwise, it's probably going to push up and go straight to the sessions right there. All right. We got 20 seconds left on this candle. I'm not expecting a market flow to come up on this one. It's just not enough time. It's got 10 seconds left. It might happen on the next candle here. All right, so possible market flow right here. I'll put the pending order.
Order submitted.
It swings back up. Again, we haven't hit the target yet up here, so we still have a target for price to reach up here if it does come up high enough. So it's filled now.
Order submitted.
Again, the target price point is going to be the sessions right there. So we have enough space for it to push up to hopefully hit TP before it gets to that point. We'll see if the volatility here holds and it continues to push up higher. But again, the summer market is just really unpredictable. So let's go back over here. We don't really have an upper range. I mean, technically we do. It's right here, 450. But here's our clean chart. As you guys can see, it's just really, really slow. So the sessions is slightly higher. It's at the 51. So it's slightly above here, but here's a clean chart. I'm gonna leave it on the clean chart so you don't see the mess. And you can kind of see how the volatility here is moving because there's a lot of stuff going on this chart. So let's see, I think I moved my stop loss and profit over there. So I think I got stopped out in profit right there. Let me check my accounts real quick. It made the noise, but I think it's still running. Can't tell if it's still running or not. I've been having issues with, okay, it's still running actually. There we go.
Order filled.
Yeah, you heard it, order filled. So I don't know what happened there. It moved I'm basically at break even. So let me break even minus the fees, of course. But yeah, for some reason it made that noise, but I was still in the position. It didn't actually move my stop loss and profit like it was supposed to. Okay, well, full TP on that one. So we had a loss on the first one, win on the second trade right here. Here, I'll just take a screenshot of it real quick. So we had the loss over here for the sell, which shouldn't have been a trade, but it's all good. So first one over here was a loss, which I shouldn't have gotten into. This was at 648. Man, this has literally been a break-even month for us. Every day is like break-even, which super annoying because of my fees. Okay, so this one over here. So I'm at break-even for the day, but I'm like -40 because of the commissions and stuff. So this is at 648. But yeah, it's literally been a break-even. Every day's been break-even. Yesterday was break-even. Today's break-even. Whole month in general is break-even. Entry right here was at 721. Yeah, Drew said had a great momentum divergence confluence. Yeah, it looks like it swung up right there, right after it closed. But I'll take a screenshot of my accounts. I think my copiers, I didn't set up my copier properly because it only took trades on about 11 of my accounts. So this one. All right, so let me just hide my account number. All right, so let me take a screenshot of this real quick so that you guys can see. So I'm at break even, but I'm at -40 right now. Because of my commissions. All right, so this is where I'm currently at. It only executed on about like 11 on my accounts. So right here, you can see I'm at negative 43. It's not much. It's a break even. It's just these are the commissions from the trade that I took because I took 2 trades today. So you guys can see how this adds up. It's like super annoying because every day is break even, and I just end up at like negative 43, which it just adds up every day. So we'll see if I can find one more entry here. If I find one more entry, perfect, because then it'll bring me out of the break even. Normally our win rate's a lot higher, but because of, well, for me, I made one mistake today with the entry over here. I wasn't paying attention, and then I didn't close the trade and it failed, and I ended up getting caught. So this is where it screwed me over the most because this trade would have been okay if it didn't end up swinging up, but it swung up like at the very last second, and then it stopped me out before it came all the way back down to where it was supposed to go. But anyways, that was one mistake loss right there. This is what I would consider a bad loss. This was a bad loss. The other losses from this week were good losses because I was following my trading plan. But for this one right here, I just kind of wasn't paying attention for like the last couple seconds. And a little mistake like that can make all the difference. And then of course we have one win right here. So one loss, one win. I don't know if anybody caught this loss with me here because this wasn't actually a trade. But if you guys only took this one, then you would have had one win for the one net win. Like I said, I'm trying to focus on just taking one trade per momentum. There was like multiple entries here that came up, but they were right at the session, so it doesn't meet the criteria. This was the only one that really met the criteria. It was actually perfect. So you can see here, this candle came down, it bounced directly off the pivot, it filled it, and then it went straight to TP like it's supposed to. This is an ideal entry for us, right? It's perfect. It comes down, comes right back up. We have our pending order, it fills it. Maybe takes a little longer than usual, but it does go where we're supposed to go. So yeah, Drew said we could have wrote it to the ATR, but the sessions killed it. Yeah, I agree. Because the volatility is so low, the sessions are so tight. Like typically they're not this close, but they've been this close lately because there just hasn't been very much volatility outside the New York session. So I mean, it is what it is, but fortunately, that's what we got to deal with right now. I'm glad we have September coming up in a few days. Tomorrow is the last day of August, so last day of summer. And hopefully we'll go back to normal market conditions because I'm tired of this market, guys. I'm not a break-even trader, so like this kind of irks me a little bit when we trade because like I'm not used to having like low win rate. Typically we're pretty solid when it comes down to the win rate. And of course the profits just are automatic, but because we're in this type of market, it's more of an annoyance, I'd say. It's more of an annoyance. It doesn't really mess with my trade psychology because I've been trading for so long, but for the most part, if you're a new trader, this will mess with your trade psychology, especially when the volatility dies down, right? I think when the market's moving smooth like this, it's all good. But when the market starts to go sideways like this, a lot of people don't know what to do. And instead of just not trading, a lot of people just end up taking bad trades within like these consolidation phases. There's been times where I've taken a trade and like, you guys have been here where I've taken a trade and it's been like, we were doing a 10-30 split. And what would happen is this trade would just consolidate. Like say, for example, we entered something like, I mean, there's no good examples here, but basically there's been a period where like we took an entry and this thing consolidated for like, I think like 30 minutes, almost an hour. And it just kept going back and forth. And then eventually it just spiked up to our TP. And it's crazy because we're only going for a 10-point TP usually when we used to apply that risk to reward. And that stuff would drive us crazy because we're like, should we pull out for a small loss? Should we pull out for a small win? Should we get out at break even? What should we do? And it messes with your confidence in your strategy because it's not playing out how it should be. Anyways, we have news right here, guys. 7:30 news is just low impact gas stock change. So we got news right here, news right here. There's no opportunities for entry right now. Again, I'm taking one per momentum signal, so I'm looking for the next opportunity. There's a V1 variation pattern right here. If anybody is looking to take that, it's not a V1 variation though because you need a pending momentum. So I mean, technically you'd be looking for a sell V1 variation right now because we have a buy signal right now. You'd be looking for the opposite. You'd be looking for a double body rejection on the top side. I don't think there was any up here, but yeah, there's nothing here. But if you wanted to take it as a standalone, just, V1 pattern, you could do that as well. I mean, it's still a V1 pattern nonetheless. So nonetheless, it's a V1 pattern. If you wanted to take it for a 1030, that's kind of what your split would be. Me personally, I don't like trading against the trend. So I would just wait. Let's see. Joe's asking, how's the 100-point move going? It actually hit stop loss. So on this first initial candle right here, it came down and hit stop loss. I didn't even check it. So the 100-point move right now is currently at, I think it's at one negative loss for the week. We had a win on Monday. Tuesday was a small loss. Yesterday was a win, and this one over here is obviously a loss. The 100-point move again strategy, guys, again is it's a break-even strategy. It's meant to win like maybe once or twice a week. So for today, it's probably gonna be break even for the week. It's probably gonna come up again tomorrow, and I think tomorrow will be a winner. So the thing with that strategy is, if it loses one day, you can almost, I don't want to say guarantee, but you can almost have a very high confidence that the next one's going to hit. Because from my testing, it's a break-even strategy. So like typically it'll balance out one or the other. I typically don't see a lot of back-to-back losses on that one. So I'm gonna see how that, well, I'm gonna take it tomorrow and then I'm gonna let it run and hopefully it'll go where it needs to go. But from my testing, it's what I consider a break-even strategy. So it's like a 55 to 52 to 55% win rate strategy. Like it has to be taken every day, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking it every day, and I'm just documenting it from there. Once I figure out how to use this Top Step platform, I just don't know how to use it very well to see the stats. Yeah. A lot of people rave about this Top Step X platform. I don't think it's really that good. I think it's okay, but I don't think it's really that good. All it is it's trading view. So you might as well just trade directly on trading view at that point. Um, yeah, I mean, for me personally, I just don't like the Top Step X platform. I feel like it's too complicated. So it's basically trading view, and you can't have like specific things. Like for me, I trade the 100-point move on a 10-minute candle, but I don't know if I'm just not doing this right, but I don't see any 10-minute candle here. Like I can't set a 10-minute candle. That's another thing that I don't like about it. It's kind of weird that it doesn't work here. Like for the minutes, they have 1, 2, 3, 5, 15, and 30, but you can't go to 10. And I don't see an option here for custom. Yeah, you can't even change it to a 10-minute time frame, which I think is really weird for Top Step. If I type it in, so I'm clicking on the chart, typing it in, it says that the 10-minute is not applicable. So I was trying to give Top Step a chance, like just give it a shot to see if I liked it. But I mean, for me personally, I just don't really like it very much. I think what I might do, and I was talking to so like one of the prop firm owners, I'm not gonna mention his name, but I was talking to a couple of prop firm owners yesterday, and I'm just kind of interested in trading like forex and gold, but like on a higher scale, like on a swing trading scale. So I think what I might do is I might look into like another broker that will allow for that. I was gonna try to use Top Step as like that platform to take a bigger trade, but I don't like Top Step very much. Well, I like them as a company, but not as a platform. If they ever enable NinjaTrader, then I'll open some Top Step accounts. But for the most part, I don't really like the Top Step platform very much. I think the TraderBait platform is better. So yeah, I know that's going to make certain people feel some type of way. But yeah, for me personally, guys, I know that there's a lot of hype around the Top Step X platform, but I just don't really like it very much. I don't think it's very useful. The only thing I could probably say might be useful would be the copier function. I haven't used the copier function yet, but I just don't really like the platform at all. Maybe it'll grow on me eventually, but I still think the TradeAway platform is a lot better. So anyways, guys, back to the charts here. There's nothing for us to take. I'm still looking for that sell signal. So like realistically, I can't take any entries here until we get a sell signal. I need to get a sell signal for retracement, and then I need to get a buy signal to confirm the continuation. Like I said, I was following my trading plan today. It worked out perfect. You know, if this was the case and I didn't take this accidental trade over here, then I wouldn't be at break even. I'd be in net positive for the day. But everything here kind of lined up to what I was looking for. Like I said, I'm trying to focus more on accurate trades versus, the quantity of trades. I've been taking too many trades this month. So for example, today we took one trade, which was official. There's a buy signal here, price came up. We couldn't take any of the entries here because it was at the sessions. Another entry finally came up right here, and that's the one entry that we took here that actually met all the criteria. This bounced off the pivot, came right back up, filled the order, straight to TP, and that was a winner. But yeah, this here isn't the volatility is just dead. So there's nothing here for us to really work with. Let's see. Kenny said, can't you add Top Step to your Replicano? Unfortunately not. So I've done it before, but there was too many issues because the copier function is with Rhythmic. And if you've used Rhythmic before, Rhythmic is a nightmare. If you guys are using any of like every weekend, I'm like on all these prop firm Discords, and I always see a problem with Rhythmic. There's always issues with Rhythmic. It's a connection issue. People can't close their trades, any of that stuff. So Top Step uses Rhythmic, and the problem with that is that you can only have one account on Rhythmic that links to NinjaTrader. So yeah, unfortunately, like you can only have one account, so it's not really too beneficial for me. That's why I was looking at the Top Step X platform because their copier you can add like multiple accounts to it, but with Rhythmic you can only have one. So it's just yeah, technically if I wanted to, I could add like one account to it. But the last time I used Rhythmic with Top Step, there were so many issues, and you can't even get across to Top Step's like helpline. Like I tried to reach out to them, and they had me do all this troubleshooting, and none of the troubleshooting like really helped or fixed my problem. It fixed it temporarily, and then it ended up doing the same issue again, and they couldn't help me. So yeah, if they have NinjaTrader, I would use them, but or not even NinjaTrader. If they have TradeAway, I would use them, but they have Rhythmic, which it just doesn't work out that way. It's weird how the Rhythmic works. They say they have Top Step. Like if you look on their platform, it says they have Top Step or they have TradeAway, but the TradeAway is through the Rhythmic. It's just it's like it's a whole process just to get your account logged in. And if you guys use Rhythmic with NinjaTrader, you guys know the process, right? You log into Rhythmic, and then you can't even log into your NinjaTrader unless your Rhythmic's working. So if your Rhythmic's not working, you can't even connect it to your NinjaTrader, and then from there you can't even connect it to your copier. So yeah, if there's a better solution, I'll go over to there, but it's just not there yet. All right, guys, we have the sell signal that we've been waiting for. Let's see if this actually closes. Maybe we could get one more entry before we get off this live session. So we got price coming down right now. All right, let's see. We got the sell signal here that closed. All right, now I'm looking for a market flow to the downside, looking for price to come below the pivots, retrace, come back down. The only problem here is that it's going to be right at the sessions. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, the volatility here is pretty flat. I think I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. As you guys can see, there's nothing going on here. Price is ranging. But the main problem here is that we have the sessions right here. So might have opportunity here for a sell, but if it comes down, I don't think there's enough space for us to get down to actually take the trade. I mean, there's a possibility. So I'll keep watching here, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep looking here for some opportunities. And then we'll go from there. So no entry here yet, guys. Again, I'm looking for price to break and close below the pivots. Once we have that, I can look for the retracement, possible continuation. All right. Let's see what we got here. So price still hasn't came below, guys. Yeah, I'm looking for this to come below here, retrace, come back down further. I actually like that we're doing one per momentum now. I feel like it's less of a, like you can kind of prepare for the entry a lot better than we did before. Because back then we were taking a bunch of entries that would just keep showing up, right? We take a buy, like literally every bounce, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, basically every bounce that came up here, we'd look for opportunity for entry. Now that we're waiting for one per momentum, it's actually pretty smooth. Still got to pay attention, but nonetheless, it's still it's a lot smoother than it was before. So, but if this entry doesn't come up, I'm not going to force anything. I'm okay with my break even for the day. Let me check our stats for the week so far. So this week started on 26, right? So we have, let's see, 1, 2. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're at break even for the week. So we're currently at break even for the week and we're at break even for the day, which, I mean, in the bigger scheme of things, break even is a good thing, but when I'm taking 60 trades, it's not a good thing because I'm in negative. So so we took 8 trades. Here, I'll just add up where I'm currently at. So we took 8 trades at 7 contracts, 7 times 5 times 8. So I paid 280 in commissions. And we're at break even. So right now I'm technically at negative 280 right now for the week. So I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm not like super deep in the red, but I'm still in the red. So yeah, in the bigger scheme of things, break even is good, but this is how much I paid in commission. Since I'm at break even, I'm not necessarily in profit for the week. I'm like slightly in the red. Like for today, here today is another stupid trade that I added to my commissions paid. Um, so this just contributed to my current negative for the week, which is 280. But it's all good. There's going to be months like this and weeks like this and days like this where you're just going to have to bite the bullet, take the loss on the commissions, and then hopefully next month things will be a lot smoother and we'll just have more wins. So I technically need like I think overall about 2 or 3 net wins for the month to be in positive and cover commissions because the commissions will eat into your account, guys. Like now I'm being a lot more smarter about it. Yeah, let's add up my commissions now again. So let's see. I think about 65 trades this month so far. So 65, 7 times 5 times 65. So this is how much commissions I paid per account, 2,275 so far. So that's how much in commissions, that's per account. So this is on my personal account. This is how much I paid, and then every single Apex account. So you multiply this by 21, because I have 21 accounts, right? This is technically how much commissions I paid for the month. Almost 50,000. That's crazy. So yeah, that's my August for you guys. We got one more trading day tomorrow, so we'll see if tomorrow will be a lot better, but if not, not gonna do anything too crazy. All right, guys, 748 right now. As you guys can see, price has not broken and closed below the pivots. Looks like it's about to right here on the next candle. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see if we get a possible market flow here on the next candle. So we could get a possible market flow right here. See if I can set it up. Oh, fuck.
Order canceled.
I wasn't able to put in the order right there, which is fine. It's too close to price. All right. Well, I missed the trade there. If you guys are in it, I'll follow it for you guys, but I missed the trade. You guys heard it said order canceled because it was too close. It was like right on the line. Just trying to put in my pending order. As soon as I put it in, it just canceled the order. So I'll follow for you guys here. I'm not going to FOMO into this trade. It's too late. I'll just leave it as is. It's a sign that I shouldn't have gotten into it. But all right, so we'll continue following this here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, I'm not in this position right here. I was going to enter it, but it looks like maybe it's a good thing I didn't enter it because it swung all the way back up. Yeah, so good thing I didn't get into the trade there. Trade got canceled, didn't fill. It's just another one of those days where market volatility here just isn't in our favor. As you can see over here that the market was just going sideways and strategy is not good during a sideways market. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna take my break even for the day. Just eat on my commissions. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a couple wins, and then that'll bring me back into the positive for the week. So, other than that, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow as we wrap up this trading week and trading month for August as we enter the fall season. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm